surprised if it is. But the point is, they are expecting wins and losses. As a matter of fact, if you watch somebody play slots or you experience playing slots, you know that you're going to lose more times than you win. And as long as you accept the risk, meaning, and how do you know you accept the risk? Your behavior will tell you accept the risk because you don't have any problems putting the money in the machine. See, if you couldn't accept the risk, then you would find it difficult to actually put the money in the machine. Gambling forces us to accept the risk in advance because if we don't, we can't play. You can't sit down at a blackjack table and just decide to play and without putting your money out there first. They won't let you. But the illusion that analysis creates with trading is that I can actually get into a trade and believe that I'm not taking any risk. And if the market happens to go in my favor immediately without giving any heat, it like gives me, it reinforces the idea that yes, I can do this without risk. I can do this without risk. I don't have to experience this if I just find the right method. That method doesn't exist. Get it in your brain. It doesn't exist. If I had a method that produced 99% winning trades, I guarantee you, if you're risk adverse and you haven't accepted the risk, you will not make consistent money. You'll always be worried about that one time. That's why, like you take a trader who, has, 9 out of 10 winning trades, maybe 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 in a row, and you're talking to other traders at conferences and chat rooms, and they'll tell you about all these winning trades that they had. They didn't tell you that the 10th trade they lost all their winnings on the first 9 and more. They didn't tell you that. Yeah, 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10, yeah. And did they have to lose all their winnings from the previous 9 trades? Did it put a stop in? No. Did it define the risk in advance? No. And why didn't they define the risk in advance? Why did they not put a stop in the market? Because they thought they had a guaranteed win. It's that simple. There probably isn't a person in this room who doesn't understand probabilities. It's being able to function from a probabilistic perspective. There can be a huge reality gap between, let's say, our understanding of what it means, of what probabilities mean. Like, saying, hey, our pattern gives us an edge, over a series of trades, over a series of 10 trades, 7 are going to be winners, 3 are going to be losers. The problem is we don't know which ones are going to win and which ones are going to lose. So if I'm going to actually extract the profit potential in that edge, it requires that I be able to take every single trade in the series or the sequence without making errors. Makes sense, right? Okay, understanding that and believing it at the core of your personality so that you can actually do it are 2 completely different things. We can say we can think of ourselves as a probabilistic thinker. Say, yeah, oh yeah, I get it, I understand it. But if you can't execute all 10 trades flawlessly, then I can guarantee you you can't function at a probabilistic perspective. Because when you can, you will be able to lose without thinking you're a loser. You will be able to be wrong without thinking there's anything wrong with you. Because that's in essence where we're going. This is what makes trading so hard. We live in a society that's completely obsessed with winning is everything. Avoid losses at all costs. Winning is everything. Avoid losses at all costs. These are very powerful belief systems. You think they're just going to go away and not assert themselves on what you do and how you behave just because you have this understanding in probabilities? Just because you might read a book or go to a conference and say, hey, you know what, this is a probabilistic environment that we're dealing in, and you got to think in odds. Oh yeah, that makes sense, I can see that. Try doing it. Because what you do is going to be a function of what you believe. And if you can't do it, it means that there are conflicting beliefs that say that, you know what, no, this is not right. I think my analysis should tell me what's going on. And even though at a conscious level you're thinking, no, that's not what this is all about, it doesn't mean that that energy isn't asserting itself on how you behave. Otherwise you wouldn't be afraid. You were at the casinos last night. How is it that if we lose, it taps us into, we have a losing experience, it can tap us into all the accumulated negative energy, like I put yesterday, of what it means to lose in our life. Losing has the potential to tap us into all this negative emotional energy. I don't want to feel that way. Most people with, let's say, a normal psychological makeup also don't want to feel that way. We will avoid this at all costs. I don't like the feeling of what it means to be wrong, all the negative energy. Brings up all the times we're berated as kids, someone ridiculing us, teachers, coaches, whatever. So if my experiences, if my trading experiences have the potential to tap me in to these two belief systems or these memories, the memories of what it means to lose and what it means to be wrong, well, you know what? I've got big problems, because you know what? If I can't lose and I can't be wrong without it resonating, negative emotional energy, there's only one other way that I can think of to help me avoid tapping into all this, and this through analysis. So in one sense, we're going to say, well, I'm a trader, which means I'm a risk taker. But the reality is we're using analysis to do everything to avoid tapping into the memories of losing and the memories of what it means to be wrong. And it doesn't work. What we're trying to tell you is this doesn't work. Because there isn't any analytical regimen or system that you can come up with that will guarantee that the next trade is going to work. What technical analysis does is it defines patterns. In other words, when we got the order flow, we got buys coming into the exchange, we got a flow of sells coming into the exchange. When there's an imbalance between the buys and the sells and there's no buys, the price has to tick up. When there's an imbalance between the sells in relationship to the buys, the price has to tick down. As these price up and down, as the price ticks up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, it creates what we call collective behavior patterns. I say collective because everyone who submits an order to the exchange contributes to the pattern. And what we found is that not only can these patterns be identified, quantified, but they repeat themselves with statistical reliability over and over and over again in every time frame. You guys with me on this? Where's the problem? What? Go ahead, Tony. Oh, well, yeah, no. The problem is the patterns.
Here's the fucking problem. This thing's buffering already again. I'm trying to stream on this fucking piece of shit i7. On this fucking piece of shit OBS. I reconfigure it every fucking time now. Fuck me with a wet spoon. What the fuck is with YouTube? Anyways. 3 people watching, including me. I quit. I have to stream it privately and test the system just for this fucking piece of shit. Fuck me.